Fraser and McKinnon on W4CY Radio.
This is the Pipe Man here on the Adventures Pipe Man W4CY Radio. And I have a very cool guest coming on because her music is pretty badass. So let's welcome to the show Tommy from the Conflux Collective.
Hey, Pipe Man, everybody, how are you?
I got to tell you, as I was saying it, I was thinking to myself, tell somebody to say that 10 times fast.
It's not that easy.
No, it isn't. Like, as I was saying it, I'm like, don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up in my head. So tell us a little bit about how this resurrection happened to create this In the Wake of Saturn. I love the name of that. I just love that title.
Nice. Thank you. Yeah, I did quite a bit of research to come up with that. So, well, I'll start from the beginning. The resurrection, it was a very simple process. But, you know, as things are sometimes simple, they're not easy necessarily.
Yeah.
Basically, I had tracks already pre-recorded on a hard drive that was sitting there. I moved across the country and all kinds of things happened in the last 10 years. And it was getting on my nerves. I was like, dude, those tracks are killer and nobody's ever going to hear them unless I do something about it. So I managed to get in touch with Chase, our guitar player, he had been ghosting me for a number of years, and I took over the socials and the Bandcamp and all that, and I was like, all right, let's get this done, because now I have a home studio and all that. I know what I'm doing. I can play guitar. So one of our challenge was we couldn't find a bass player of the level we needed to commit to actually track.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what, I have a pretty good bass. I'll set it up in drop B and I'll just record it. So that's how it all started. I did the bass, I did the drums, I wrote the lyrics, I made the patterns, and then once I had everything ready, I sent that out to the vocalists, and I had a couple of rejections, mostly because dudes were just way busy. Like I was hitting guys that were on tour, like, and have families and all that. So, but I'm happy with the lineup that we finally were able to gather. They're amazing. Like they all blew me out of the water in terms of commitment and turnaround time and performance.
Nice. Yeah, and you're right, man. It is so hard, I think, after COVID, like everybody's working so hard. Like even me, I go on tour and I do media coverage at music festivals. And this year I was like, man, I need to do a few less this year, because like last year was one weekend after another from like February till November, which is longer than usually the festival season is. And it was just, everybody's been trying to make up for that lost 2 years that we had.
Absolutely.
You know,
it broke a lot of stuff. It broke everybody, right?
Exactly. And so I think artists have to work harder than ever now to try to play catch up, you know?
You have to be definitely smarter than ever and more polyvalent. And, you know, that the scene has changed so much. And also the business has changed. It's almost unrecognizable, you know, in terms of, I mean, there's a lot of opening opportunities, and also there's a lot of things that are way more complicated than they used to be. So yeah, you have to navigate that, and if you don't have management, especially, you gotta be pretty clever.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, it's funny, while you were saying that, I was thinking back to, you know, the days of the beginning of death metal, like when I used to see Possessed back in the day in the 80s, and you know what they had to do compared to what a band like you has to do today is so drastically different. Like you have so many jobs, not just a musician.
Yeah, I was tired once I finished all that, and I'm still doing it. I'm still editing some videos right now, and you know, creating reels and just and interviews, which I'm grateful for. But all of that, so I'm doing it all, so it's pretty tough. But like, I mean, like the hard part's done now. The album's out. Yeah, I've got John Asher helping me out with PR. He's doing a great job plugging me in and helping me follow up, helping me navigate all that. But yeah, especially for a band that doesn't tour, and we had a little bit of history, but it was dormant for so long. It's a bit of a challenge to bring everything up to speed for sure.
Well, I think it's also a good time for you to do it too, because I think the world needs your music more than ever now, and not just because of the
Oh,
music, but because of the message.
well, I appreciate that, man. That's pretty cool. If you think that, it's definitely a deep album in the Wake of Saturn. I mean, I put my heart and soul into that thing, and so I really wanted to do something that's in the progressive matter of being reflective and being forcing people to think and to maybe to meditate a bit.
No doubt. And, to me, music is the great uniter and the greatest therapy there is. And I think this is what this album brings to our community for sure.
Oh, oh, it's wicked, man. I appreciate that. It's awesome.
So, how do you feel it's different for you creating this music or even updating it? Because some of it was stuff you did a while ago, but you
Yeah.
updated it to today. How do you feel it's different now compared to back when?
Well, I mean, I'm definitely a better musician even than back then. In terms of like I can compose, I can harmonize, I can play strings, record and edit. All stuff that when we recorded the EP, we had a sound guy, and then we got a mix engineer, and so I did some stuff obviously, but my job was mostly get the drums together and get the car to drive the gear where it's supposed to be going. And
Yeah.
now, like this thing, I took over the whole entire production. Jeanne Artemis, like she helped me out with the mix because my original I did two mixes before sending her something, and yeah, when I re-listened to it, it's like it's a pancake. So she's like, she took pity of me, and she's like, why don't you just let me handle this? But in terms of production and also like kind of project manager, getting the whole thing together, I did all of it. So for me, that's a new level, and it's part of the reason why I really wanted to get this thing done as part of a bit of a schooling, if you will, or learning
Yeah.
process. For me, it's easier to learn if I have something to aim towards. So I thought, you know what, I have all these tracks. So Chase's guitars were final. I didn't have DIs, so we had to go with the tone from his camper profile that he had down. Luckily, I had side A and B, and I had all of or I mean left, right, and I have all the guitar solos. Everything was there. Uh, but I only had 5 tracks, so that's why I decided to write 3 more. And so that was my first time writing whole songs that made it onto records before with Neuraxis and stuff. I only wrote riffs. Like I would be writing stuff, and then when Rob started running out of riffs, he'd come to me and be like, "Hey, do you have anything I can?" Yeah. So that was that. That was that. So like it's basically a big step up in all matter of. It's kind of also kind of my first experience as a legit band leader, and not just sort of like the second in command kind of thing. So,
Yeah. That's cool.
yeah.
And I think one of the other cooler things, like if we're going to talk about the cooler things about being a musician today, is as an artist, you have way more control nowadays.
Oh yeah, crazy. Yeah, yeah. As long as you master the tools, you basically the sky's the limit, right? Like the limit is getting it to the audience. That's
Yeah.
where the big challenges is navigating the social media because everybody's in for themselves, right? So they'll try to cap you, they'll try to sell you advertisement,
Yeah.
and advertisement doesn't always translate into sales either. So you have to just sort of play the game and play it slick.
No doubt. You have to be a lot smarter, I think, too, because you don't do live shows. So,
That's a tough one, yeah, for sure.
right? You got to be creative in what you do to get it out there, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. The Conflux. I mean, I would love to get like we'd have to get a live lineup, but it'd be kind of hard because Chase doesn't really play guitar anymore. He told me, and so I'd have to get somebody to learn all this stuff, and it's not easy. It took me 8 months to track the bass because I didn't have tabs, right? So I had to lift everything basically note for note by looping the looping the DAW,
Right.
and it was pretty crazy, man. Like it was a lot of work. So yeah, so and this kind of band too, it's kind of hard to say, oh yeah, are we gonna play like 5,000 people a night? I don't think so, right? We're gonna start playing like bars and coffee shops and clubs, like tiny clubs. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a big undertaking for that. I'm sort of aiming towards a different kind of project next, and that if I go back on the road, I want it to be something a little bit more, uh, a little bit less blast beady and a little bit more easy on the body. Not because I'm lazy or anything. It's just I'm getting old, and I just want to have something I can sustain and maybe build a brand this time instead of just doing one-off albums. Maybe build a brand that I could get some momentum, get signed, and all that. So that's
What a great point too, because I think about that often. I look at drummers that have been doing it for a long time, and in extreme metal, like I'm like, how are they still able to do it? You look at most people at certain stages of life, they can barely walk, much less, play brutal.
Well, thankfully,
drums.
I'm not at that point yet. But,
right? Exactly. But like, it is tougher, I think. It's easy when you're a teenager to like have everything it takes to make and play brutal drums. And I say drums specifically because I look at drummers, like I played drums for 9 years when I was a kid. I sucked, but I think that's why I think about it that way. Cause I'm like, holy shit, would I be doing that at this age, and it's like, you really, it takes being fit to be a drummer.
Big time, especially death metal, man, and stuff that like Conflux is lots of intricacies and they're not easy tunes to play, right? So one thing is, for me, obviously going into the studio, I always have to be peak shape, right? So I got injured recently because I got a training injury, so I haven't been really able to practice as much or anything, so I'm sort of getting back into it now. So my next thing is I want to focus more on uh, independence, like four-way independence and grooving. Like that's where I feel like at 43 now, that's where I feel like I can get another 30 years out of that. Like.
Yeah, totally.
Just pushing the boundaries that way instead of pushing the boundaries in the speed and intensity, or that kind of intensity. Anyways, you know what?
Yeah, exactly.
So I just, it kind of pushed me, that injury thing kind of pushed me to reevaluate my style and all that stuff. And then Conflux, I really wanted to get it done because it was already kind of half done and it's just sitting there. And I was like, oh man, this is sad. So I wanted to finish it up and really like, put it to rest in a brilliant way. And
well,
I mean, we'll see. I mean,
you did an amazing job. It is brutal, but it's also like so technically good. And I think that is the difference a lot of times. Like, once you really learn your craft, then you can create like death metal that is musicianship opposed to just, brutal, but it's brutal with musicianship.
Yeah, I mean the groundwork was already there because Chase's guitar playing at that time was so brilliant and advanced. So the 5 tunes he wrote, I mean, they're unbelievable. Like the amount of string skipping and all that, and it's not just that too. Like it's sketchy,
Yeah.
And then I just finished the arrangement, which was always for me sort of my secondary duty in any band, right? Like besides drumming. Uh, and back in the days when we didn't use to program anything, we just jammed. So and like developing arrangements, and so I really focused too. Like I got inspired a lot by catchy bands, like Death and Gojira, let's say, or old school death metal bands, kind of, Morbid Angel, Death, to say, okay, I want these to sound like songs, not studies. I want
Right.
them to sound like songs. So I really, really worked hard on the lyrics to find the right words in the right spots, build up, and the singers totally caught wind of that, and they totally ran with it and made it like life, like really cool. Like,
Nice.
I think that I'm really happy with the end result. To be honest, I couldn't be happier.
Well, definitely everybody has to check it out. Why don't you tell everybody how they can connect to you on socials, how they can check the new album out, and everything else?
Well, very easy for those who use big streaming services like Spotify, Apple, Tidal, all that stuff. It's super easy to find, and I'd say just Google the title In the Wake of Saturn. It's unique. Uh, There's a couple of confluxes out there, but if you search by category or if you search by title, you're going to find it right away. Conflux Collective In the Wake of Saturn. But on Spotify, it's just Conflux because the CDBB, my digital distributor, didn't allow me to use Collective because the logo said Conflux. Anyways, it's an AI thing, I guess. So yeah, Conflux In the Wake of Saturn. It's on all major platforms through CD Baby. And then for higher end, if you want to listen in Wave, go on Bandcamp because that's the 44.1 16-bit format that's on there. So it sounds better than MP3s and YouTube music and all that. So Bandcamp, and you can purchase the digital. For this time around, I wanted to have vinyl, so I did remaster the recording for vinyl, and I also produced a CD, which is also has the bonus tracks. The first EP has bonus track on the CD, and the artworks
Nice.
inside, so you can check that out at elasticstage.com. Conflux Collective official music. It's they'll print vinyls, high quality vinyls and CDs on demand when you purchase them. So that's what I went for this time around. And then we've got merch on Fort Wall. We got our merch store on Fort Wall. So if you guys check out either Conflux's YouTube or Facebook page or Instagram page, Conflux Co is the Instagram handle. You can find all the links to all of that. Yeah, that's it. Or Bandcamp. The Bandcamp has all the links as well. Bandcamp
Yeah.
is my favorite, by the way. They're really helping indie artists out by offering that direct sale portal and everything. That's really really cool.
See, I love hearing that because there's so many of these services that are screwing over artists. I'm always happy to hear when one is treating them right.
Yeah, well, it's that the business model of the big streamers is really built on volume and is built towards advertisers, volume and shareholders, right? So the artist really is sort of left in the lurch, if you will. They're left. Yeah, like so. What they pay people really is laughable. Like I saw a post the other day. Somebody had a million some stream. I think they made like $200 out of that.
I know it's ridiculous, right?
It's absurd. I mean, it's absurd. It's horrible. So like the streaming revenues. I mean, it's non-existent, right? So what I find is a great alternative to that. If when people really want to encourage a band and they love the band, necessarily maybe they have a small apartment, maybe they don't have a turntable, whatever, they want it in their phone, go and buy the digital album. You get the artwork, you get the lyrics, you don't have to listen to advertisement. and it's not very expensive. You can carry it with you. You can copy it, and it sounds great because it's the actual format in which it's meant to be listened to, with all the depth and all the details that's there. So Bandcamp's great for that. You can buy the WAV files and stream them on the app as well, and it's very good for that. So I encourage everybody to do that.
Definitely. Yeah, so that's cool. Everybody check it out. And do you have any final words for our listeners?
Well, everybody that's taken the time to check out the Conflux Collective in the Wake of Saturn album, thank you so much. I like I said, I poured my heart and soul into that, and it was a pretty challenging album to make. So check it out, have a listen, share it, and hope you headbang and it suits your mood. There's a little bit of everything on there. And then it's good to see you again, Pipe Man. We talked last time about Derelict. So Derelict's coming up with a new album that's going to probably be out next year or something. We're going into mixing towards the end of this year. So I'm working on drum tracks right now. Yeah, man. Well,
I'll promote that.
Sounds good. Well, you'll hear from us again. And yeah, that's it, man. Stay heavy, and thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, and thank you for being on the Adventures of Pipe Man.
My pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY Radio.